I'd like to discuss cell therapy. And Dr. Verdun, or Dr. Mark certainly, but Dr. Verdun, I'd like to ask you this question too. What are the regulatory outlook? What's the regulatory outlook, the regulatory challenges for cell therapy? And what would you say is the focal point for what the agency deems most important this year? Market readiness of cell therapy as a whole. What are your thoughts on cell therapy?
Yeah, I mean, I can point to several challenges. I don't think that they are things that are insurmountable. So that's why I use the word challenges, a little bit just lightly, I'd say. So I think that the some of the regulatory challenges from our vantage point are that a lot of these are novel products, right? And they're being studied in diseases where there's significant heterogeneity in the disease. There's potentially nothing approved in this space before the cell therapy that we're discussing. And then, certainly a challenge can be the time it takes to manifest disease symptoms in something that's quite a novel product. So I think these are regulatory challenges. I would just sort of circle back to some things that Dr. Marks just mentioned, in that we really are in a place where we, as an agency, are going to lean in on some of these challenges. So I think we're going to have to accept some uncertainty in terms of endpoints for some of these novel products, and specifically for diseases with unmet need, and some of them nothing approved in the space. And so I do think that in terms of market readiness, I think that I can, from my vantage point, we are ready to bring several of these to market. I think patient accessibility is a different discussion and quite a complex conversation. But I think that patient accessibility is something we really need to focus on in our partnership. This is not just specifically even an FDA thing, but I think the industry in general, we have to have further conversations about accessibility and making sure that once we are approving these therapies, that the patients that need them can get them.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, I just might add that I think completely agree with everything that Nicole said, and would just say that I would just also separate out cell therapies into genetically modified cell therapies, where I think the outlook is somewhat simpler, and non-genetically modified cell therapies, where we continue to see one of the additional challenges is on the manufacturing end, where I think we will continue to see the agency trying to concentrate on potency assays. Understanding how to make something repeatedly over time has been a real challenge for non-genetically modified cell therapies. To be honest, it's been potency is an issue for all of our products, but on the cell-based therapies, it has been one of particular challenge, because without good potency assays, some of the products that have been brought forward have not been able to be made consistently over time, and that leads to disappointing outcomes sometimes when they're taken forward into larger trials. So I think just to make that little distinction there, because I think it is an important one.